Happy New Year! This year, let's make scouting reset, refocus, and re-energize our program. Let's do it together. Hey, ScouterStan. It's been a great year. 2025 has been challenging and resetting and refocusing and trying to get everything back to where it should be. Our COVID years are over, thank goodness, and it's been a great year, and we got a lot to look forward to. But if you think about it, the year that we've gone through together, this has been big. Been a big year for scouting. First off, there was a program going from handwritten and documents and stuff to electronic. This is a brand new thing. Scout Book is getting bigger and bigger. That's a wonderful thing. A lot of the focus has been able to get all of the merit badge workbooks and the actual pamphlets that are out there for the merit badges to be PDFs so that you can look them up online and be searchable and so on. It has been a very big challenge, but we're slowly getting into that digital world that the rest of the world is doing. That is a big thing. That also has to do with unit tracking of all of their advancements and stuff like that, all done electronically. In 2025, we also, on February 8th, our anniversary, Scouting became Scouting America. That was our new branding that we just put out. It's encompassing all of the different parts of scouting. So Cub Scouts and troops, crews, Sea Scouts, all of that's under one umbrella. That also includes explorers and I believe it's Learning for Life. That's also under there. But it's all Scouting America. 2025 was also the year that we got ready for the 2026 National Jamboree, getting all the contingents together, the staff together, getting everybody ready for the National Jamboree. It's been a real challenge, as there's a lot of different campouts that they do, all the contingents, so that they can work out all of the logistics to make sure that everything's operating correctly. They don't want those snags when they go to the big jamboree. So that's been a big preparatory year for that huge event. In 2025, we also had a huge update to the advancement guide, and it's been over. They'll have another one soon, anyways. But it's a constant update. They also brought out the laboratories for Merit Badge, the Merit Badge Laboratory. This is something new, and these were test merit badges. And if you earned the test merit badge in the testing phase, if you've earned it and it becomes a real merit badge, you get the merit badge automatically. You've already done the requirements, so therefore you get the merit badge. That's new, real new. And through the laboratory, we actually got 2 new merit badges. The AI merit badge and cybersecurity merit badge became real merit badges. So if you got it in the lab, you also got it in the merit badge, the round one. That's new. These are brand new merit badges. What's coming up in 2026? There's a lot going on. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about Wood Badge. Yes, did you go to Wood Badge? Wood Badge is one of the premier trainings for scouters, us, okay? We should all take a moment to go to Wood Badge and do the training. This is premier training. This is the highest level of training you can get as a volunteer in scouting. This is highly recommended. So if you're not gone to Wood Badge, or if you've been to Wood Badge and would like to be on the staff, contact your council office. They will fill you in on all the contact information. If you're thinking about it and wondering why should I go, check out the video. That Wood Badge is the program. You need to do Wood Badge. Wood Badge is by far one of the best trainings you will ever get anywhere, including your Fortune 500 companies. Okay, that is life changing. Okay, go to Wood Badge and find out for yourself. I'm hoping that Wood Badge is in your 2026 plan. Contact your council office as soon as possible. That's the wonderful thing. We got a lot going on. There are brand new courses that are required in Scouting U. So check your account. It's very important that you log into my.scouting.org to your account where you've been for all your training online, and make sure that you're up to date. There are things that expire. Okay, so if you're a scout facing leader, you need to have that training. This coming year, this in 2026, by May, all of the YPT expires. Yes, I know you had it last week, but no. If you had it last week, you're current, okay? But it is one of those things that you have to keep update. Now it's guidelines to keeping your scouts safe. That whole thing has changed. So definitely do the training. One of the big things is that, believe it or not all adult leaders are fully trained. Only about 40%. The big goal for Scouting U is to get that to 50%. We're trying to get a 10% increase in 2026. So definitely check your account, see what training you're lacking in or what's coming up and it's going to expire. Get it done. Just do the training online. It is a wonderful way to keep that goal in mind and help scouting really train scout leaders to make a difference. Now, the big thing with uniforms, they are slowly phasing in and making sure that everything is branded Scouting America. That's how they're rolling it out through 2026. It is important to understand that if you're in Cub Scouts, it's still Cub Scouts. If you're still in a troop, that's a troop. Okay, crew, venture crew is still venture crew. A Sea Scout is a Sea Scout. But all of it is under the brand name now through this entire year. You're going to hear that all the time. It's in 2026, it's Scouting America. Now in 2026, they will be announcing some program changes from the youth council that they've formed. We talked about it on this channel. We actually have a video on that subject, so please look it up. I will try to put it in the list, the pull down list. If not, it should be down below. So definitely check out the more button, and there's links in there. Definitely check that out in the description of this video. The youth are actually reviewing some of the program, and there might be some changes that National would like to introduce or do experiments on. So these are things that are ongoing. And the youth actually have the voice in this process. So definitely check out that video. It is quite possible by the end of this coming year of 2026, we might have 5 more merit badges that will be part of the whole gambit of different merit badges that are out there. This is because of the Test Lab. The Test Lab is an online merit badge way to go and actually earn merit badges in a test lab situation. If that merit badge becomes a merit badge for reals, they have it for reals. Think of it that way. They are actually able to go in and do this online test lab for merit badges. Everything from auctioneering to dance. I mean, it's got a lot of different things out there. Sewing and etiquette and you name it. There's a lot out there. In 2026, there's definitely a push to make sure the Guide to Safe Scouting has updates in regards to technology, which changes constantly. Goal setting for your unit is absolutely imperative. You need to do that. That is a very important thing to do as far as your planning. Now, granted, your planning should be reviewed as soon as possible. Sometime in the next few months, it should be reviewed because things change from maybe a year ago. So you need to always look back at that. Long-range goals that have been set for some time need to be reevaluated. They need to be thought about and what you need to do, what goals you need to complete to get to that goal. Well, that's a very big thing. So reevaluating your own planning for the year, for the upcoming year. Things you should consider for this year is strengthening your leadership. The leadership that are with your unit, make sure they're trained. That's very important. It's done online. Make sure that they have all of the required things for their position. That's very, very important, and it improves it. The next big thing that they need to do is have a backup. There has to be somebody else in the unit that can do what they're doing. Make sure that they're trained, make sure that they're ready, their assistants. No matter where you are in the big picture of your unit, there's always an assistant. There's always another member of the team, of whatever team you're in. If you have a treasury team or you have an advancement team, these teams need to have backups. Everybody in that team needs to be on an equal standing, and they all have to have that training, okay, so that they can do those jobs. If one person gets transferred and within a week they're gone, if they don't have a team, there's nobody behind them. That's a problem. You don't want that. You don't want that. So you got to make sure that everybody's got backups. Everybody has team members that are there to help, that are there to work together towards that goal. Improving your outdoor activities. This is something that a lot of units kind of take for granted. They do the absolute minimum when it comes to campouts or camporees or that kinds of things. Set goals. If in the past your goal has been twice a year, let's double that. Let's make it 4 times a year to do a camp out, okay? And that's true for a pack also. Packs do campouts. They go in all overnighters. That is a thing that they do. So make sure that you have the leaders that you need for the training. Make sure that you have planned it and set those goals so that you could do those things. They can actually happen. So it's important that you have those things in line and in mind to improve that. Don't go past 12, okay? Sometimes that's a little much. I know units that try to do a camporee or a camp out or something every month. That can be very wearing after a while. So, don't go past that. If you go like 2 in 1 month and 1 every month, that's a lot. Okay, don't go beyond 12. That could be, again, your summer camp counts as one, right? So, but that's just my suggestion. Okay, it's a rule of thumb. You don't want to wear people out. You don't want to make it a real drudgery to put together all the time. That's really stressful. So try to keep it, in realistic levels. I'm recommending that for 2026 that all units have a level of who and how many they want to recruit. This is something that should be a monthly thing because you should recruit all year round, okay? All year round. And always set a goal. Say we wanted to recruit 2 new families to the Cub Scouts. This is something that can be done. The family, could be a boy and a girl, or 2 boys, or 2 girls. Regardless, those are the Cub Scouts, and then the parents for leaders. So you need to set a goal, not only for how many scouts, but how many scouters, okay? How many parents are going to step up and be leaders? Whether it's scout facing, like a den leader or an assistant scoutmaster, regardless, or it could be behind the scenes. That's another thing. So you got to recruit year round. Try to set a goal for every month. Advancement. Think about it. We need to set goals for, say, for instance, we have a merit badge university coming up. Whether it's sponsored by your troop or another troop, definitely get involved. You need those opportunities for advancement. You need to make sure that if you have a bunch of scouts needing advancement as far as the citizenship merit badge, you need to have those opportunities for advancement to say, hey, there's a town meeting. Okay, that's one of the requirements that they need to have out there. Plan it. If you don't plan it, you're going to miss it. So definitely get that in there. Your advancement team should be kind of setting those goals. And for 2026, let's make sure that we set some goals for long-range fundraising. Okay, summer camp is inevitable, okay, every year. Day camp, it's an inevitable, okay. It's important that your scouts work towards that goal year round. Year round, they need to be doing fundraising so that they can do activities year round. That's an important goal for 2026 for every unit out there. Encouraging adult leaders. It's important to keep your adult leaders from being overwhelmed. Burnout is assured if you are constantly relying on them for constant information all the time. They have to have downtime, okay? And that's true at campouts. There needs to be a moment where everybody just chills. You can't have activity after activity after activity. It's wearing. It's wearing on the scouts. It's wearing on the scouters. You need downtime. Time where you can just sit in a nice chair, okay, and take downtime. Be with family, okay. That's a critical thing. That downtime is so critical to keeping your leadership happy. And that's true for the youth too. They need a little bit of time to sit at camp and play cards and have fellowship with their patrol. You can't just constant go. You need downtime to recharge and re-energize for the next thing. And that's a critical step to preventing burnout. Now, I also want to encourage for 2026 is to make sure that you start engaging at roundtable. Not knowing what's going on within your district, within your council, is a stress for any leader. You need to know what's going on. So going to roundtable fills that need. You need to do roundtable. Roundtables where all the leaders, all of them, get together and they talk about the mutual things that are going on within the district. When's the camporee? Who's who? What's going on? Who's the OA chapter chief? All of the things that are needed to be functional as a unit are really grounded at roundtable. Roundtable is where all of those contacts are. And it eliminates all the stress of, I don't know. I don't know is a huge stressor. It can really stress people out. If you go to roundtables, you'll know. You'll be that go-to person. And that can be stressful too, but in a nice way. Okay? So, but if you all went to roundtable, you wouldn't have that stress. Now, the importance of definitely becoming a mentor. Learning those skills, being able to ask the 5 W's and an H. That's huge. The 5 W's and H. Who, what, when, where, and who, and how. Those are sometimes very important. 2 H's. It can vary depending on what it is. But you have to know those opening questions in order to be that mentor. To ask those open-ended questions and have youth actually give you that information back. That's huge. That's gigantic. You need to have that two-way communication and making sure that your leadership is trained. That's so important, especially this year. Make sure that they're trained. Let's shoot for that 50%. It shocked me. I did not know that only 40% of all adult leaders are actually trained for real. That blew me away. Let's get that up to 50 at least. And in your unit, let's make it 100%. Well, let's set the goal for 100%. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you know that you're invited to the campfire chat. This is a live meeting right here on this channel that we do every first Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a great way to ask questions and not just me, but a lot of the guests that we have on the Fireside Chat. Definitely check that out. Also, I want to thank all of the Patreon for all of their support of this channel. In addition to that, we have our own membership right here on the channel. This is a fantastic way to get involved on this channel. Definitely hit the join button. It'll give you a bunch of information that'll tell you a little bit more about that process. So definitely get involved. We're going to just jump right on back. Inspiring scouts and family is important for all leadership. Leadership should take a moment, a message, especially at the first meeting of the new year. They should really think about setting goals to do things that are on their wish list, on their goals list. A goal is only achieved by breaking it up into little pieces and then doing those pieces over a period of time, achieving a huge goal. That's the key. So they need to add to that one extra goal, and that might be to take a day off. That could be the one big thing that they could do. Take some time to recharge, reset and recharge. So critical to success. if you're not able to achieve that because you're totally worn out, totally exhausted, you gotta take time out. You gotta do that for yourself so that the group, the team, the unit can move forward. Not a lot of time. You can get recharged in a day, believe me. So that's the key. Make sure that you take time for yourself. Make that a goal for yourself. One of the other big things is to give advice to your parents. Now, a lot of times your parents are also leaders, but your parents that are there, make sure that they understand that there's goals that the unit is trying to achieve, and they need parents to step up. They need them to be an active participant in their son's or daughter's unit. Okay, that's a very important thing. There's no reason that they can't get the same training that you've got. There's no reason that they can't be at the same level. That's the thing. Scouting, it's not new. It's all written down. And there's courses online. So it's easy to kind of lean back when you're a parent and just expect others to do all that. Make sure that you talk to them. They should do something. It can be small. It can be small. It can be as small as picking up the paid-for popcorn from the council office. It's like what? Twice a year? Twice in a year? Why should a leader that's overwhelmed have to do that? Okay? Why don't you get a parent that wants something they can do twice in a year and be done? Okay? That's the thing. Diversify a lot of the things. Try to work on that this year. That's a big goal. Diversify all of the fun things that happen in scouting. Okay? It's difficult. And make sure your parents know that you're in it for the benefit of the scout, their kids, okay? And they should be in it because their kids are in it, okay? They should be a part of it. There are 1,000, 100,000 little tiny things that need to be done. And they can be a part of those things in the background. They don't have to be a leader out there like the Cub Master running the 3-ring circus of the pack meeting. No. They don't have to. There's lots of stuff that happens in the background. Could be collecting newspapers to make, bamboo trees or something. There's all kinds of stuff that's out there. You have to get them involved. One of another big things is activities for this coming year. Make sure that you go on a hike. Small hike, okay? We're not talking 50 milers, okay? We're not doing that. What I'm saying is you need to do small hikes. These could be done in community parks, okay? Different forest preserves have hikes that would fit. And you need to do these at least twice every year. And there's several reasons why this should be included. And then a lot of people are like, what is he talking about? Well, hiking is a requirement for advancement. They have to go on a 5-mile hike and identify things in nature, animals and plants. Okay? These are things that's part of a troop activity. Same thing's true in a Cub Scouts. A lot of the older Cub Scouts need these adventures. They may not do 5 miles all at once, okay, because that's a long walk for a Cub Scout. So they might do 2.5 or 2 of those, and then that's something that they need to do. Exercise, being able to walk, is a blessing, and it's one of the things that a lot of people take for granted. That's my 2 cents about hiking. Now, another big one for a troop or a crew would be a gear check. This would be like, well, if you're going to go on a camp out, what are you going to bring? That's a wonderful thing. That's a good subject for a meeting, too. You could have 2 people, one that brings everything they should bring, and then another person who brings everything they shouldn't bring. Try to keep it appropriate, but everything they shouldn't bring, they should be that good and bad. You know, this is good, this is not so good. That kind of thing. That's the thing about the gear check when you do that. That's the training part of it. And then have everybody bring their gear and go through it. Now, another big traditional thing is the first service project of the year. This should be a good primer for those who have just joined your pack or your crew or your troop. This is the one that they should go on. And it could be something simple. There are a lot of organizations out there that do lots of activities. It could be painting a fence. It could be planting flowers. These are service projects that are done either on public lands or on some kind of retreat or some place that needs some TLC, some cleaning and planting and stuff like that. That is a wonderful thing. And a lot of times the beneficiary actually provides all the materials. You're just the labor to put the plants in the ground. So that's a beautiful thing. Now, there is a message of unity within Scouting America. The movement has been the MOP, Messenger of Peace. And this is something that is, it's not new, but it should be emphasized in 2026. As far as Scouting America, it's critical that all units really emphasize family. Family is a huge thing in young people's lives. It is the thing. And it's important that when scouting comes in, Scouting America, that we welcome those families as they are, okay? And it's important that we have the message there that we believe in the Scout Oath and Scout Law. And that should carry over to the family. The family should take that on also. The family should think about God and country. The family should think about doing a good turn. The family needs to be keeping that promise, physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. They need to be thinking about those things. The family needs to adopt all 12 of the Scout laws. And they're absolutes, okay? These laws are incredible. If you can live your life in a family by the Scout and Scout Law, you're halfway there. You're going to do very good. You're not going to have a problem. You got to keep that at the core. Now, finally, I have a message for those old timers, that those stick in the muds. I tell you, they can be. I wasn't like when I was in Scouts. Yeah, they always tell a story, okay, and that bless their heart. That's true. It is so important to keep in mind. Scouting, as long as it has its core, and it's in the family of scouting, as long as it has that, doesn't matter, okay? All the other, doesn't matter, okay? And an organization, or any organism for that matter, that cannot and will not change is doomed to be extinct. So you have to be able to move a little bit, but you can still keep your core. You can still keep those values. As long as those are kept, everything else is fine. So tell your old timers to just think about the Scout Oath and Scout Law and ask them. Ask them straight up, has anything changed? Has any of the words reorganized or changed in those two things, the Scout Oath and Scout Law? I would be curious to what they would say. None of that has changed. And Scouts earn their awards. They earn their merit badge. They earn their ranks. It's not just given to them out of the magic hat. okay? It doesn't happen that way. You have to earn your way. So every badge you see on a Scout's uniform should be respected. Old timer or not, okay? That is one of those things. Okay, now here's your homework. What do you want out of the ScouterStan channel? This is something I want to see your comments. If you've looked through our catalog, we have 292 videos in the Commissioner's Weekly, okay? If you look through that and you see something that's a big hole, okay, or a little tiny hole, let me know. Please put it in the comments. You missed this. You know, I'd like to see a video about that. I need that information. We've covered so many things on this channel. And there are some projects that I'm working on for season 14. Okay, can you believe it? This is the last show of season 13, Lucky 13. And it's been challenging, believe me. There's been some weeks that have been really hard. That I'm hoping to solve a situation. But keeping everything in mind, I need your input. I need what you want out of the channel, okay? You don't want Heinz 57 anymore, or you want more. That's the thing. I need to know. Otherwise, it's not only one-man band. It is my way or the highway. I don't want that. I want your input. I want to be that conduit to help you be a better leader. That's really what I would want you to do. Please take a moment. Put in the comments. Keep everything the same, or, oh, it's terrible, go away. I need to know, okay? Without your input, I won't know. And I do read all the comments. Like I always say, I may not reply right away, but I do see them. I do see them and read them. So that's the key. That's the key. And please put it to this video. Don't put it on one that was like 2 or 3 years ago. It'll take me even longer to see that one. Okay? Always keep that in mind. Try to keep it current. Try to stay ahead of the game. Otherwise, it's a lot of videos to look at. Okay? There's a lot. Okay? Season 14, we will definitely have at least 300 videos, by that time. Being this is 292. So that's the neat thing about ScouterStan channel. We keep going and going and going, and it's because of viewers like yourself that can put comments down. Please do that. Thank you so much for watching the ScouterStan channel, and I want to wish you a happy 2026. This is going to be a great year. Let's make it a good one, okay? And if you have a chance, there's a whole series about communications right over there. So critical. You gotta watch that video. It's a 2-parter. It's long, but you can do it. So until next time, I will see you on the trail.